Coach, I wasn't really going to keep it up, but judging based off your Vol calls comments last night, I don't guess you care to talk about it. So, I mean, what did you think about Penny's post-game press conference about your guys wanting to fight and calling Jordan Bone out by name?
Well, I didn't like that. I mean, obviously, because I don't think you do that. But the fact is, you know, you guys know I killed Bob, and I'll always do that. But that game's over with, done with, and we got to get on down the road. We got a really tough opponent in here tomorrow night, and we got to get ready for that. But you know, everybody, I guess, can say what they want to say, but again, with me and Bob, again, you guys know I kid with him. I'm going to keep doing that, but again, it's time to get ready for Samford.
What is the catch? Obviously, their record's rather impressive, but what catch their attention then?
Well, the fact they took Belmont overtime. Belmont beat UCLA. You look at Houston Baptist goes into Wake and beats Wake, and last night they beat Houston Baptist by 20, and I think they're really well coached. You look, they got 4 guys in double figures. Scoring, they got 2 more at 8.4, and so they've got really balanced scoring. Got a terrific point guard that you look at him up until last night, hadn't shot the 3 very much, and I think he made 5 threes last night, but he's responsible for probably 40% of their offense and what they do, and so we're going to have to, again, have a good defensive effort, better than we had the other day for certain, and they're a very heavy ball screen team. A lot of ball screens early, a lot of ball screens late in the possession, and so we know that our guys are going to have to get ready to deal with that.
Y'all have had some good games with Southern Conference teams the last couple of years. Can that help assure with this veteran team that they kind of know what they're in for tomorrow and done?
Well, I think they know that. I think, and again, we'll go through our prep like we do every game, and we don't change our prep. We are very transparent with what we need to do, and we talk honestly about teams, and I think these guys have played enough, like you're saying, teams knowing how hard every game can be if you're not ready to play, and they're hard even when you're ready to play.
Speaking of defense, I mean, you talked about the zone the other day. And I know you guys don't work on it much, but will that motivate you to work on it more?
Yeah, we have, and that, again, that's my fault that we haven't. You know, we've used it sparingly, and we've got to get better with it. There's no doubt about it. We've got to do a better job guarding the ball. That's a major part of where we can be better on the defensive end. But I said it after the game, and I've said it. We've got to get better, and I mean, in a lot of areas. I mean, we're not anywhere near where we need to be to keep being the team that we want to be. We've got to get better defensively. We've got to do a better job with offensive execution. We're not doing that as well as we were back a couple weeks ago. And what you hope when you start emphasizing or working on something else is they don't let go of what you're good at, and we've done that in some areas, and that's where you'd like to see us, especially being an older team, that we can hold on to what we're good at so we can continue to move forward.
You also touched on kind of the foul trouble, getting 2 quick fouls in some of these games. Is that something you can coach out of a player, or do they just have to make better decisions early in the game?
Well, you can guard the ball better so it doesn't put pressure on your backline defense. That's where you can, we're getting beat on the perimeter, straight line drives, and when that happens, you know, just out of instincts, I think most guys on the back line, you know, our post players, you know, Grant, you put Admiral, you put Kyle there, Folke, they're going to come over and make plays. And so we've just got to do a better job staying in front of the ball and rebounding the ball. If we stay in front of the ball, we don't have to rotate as much, and then we're in a much better position to rebound the ball.
With Eves in particular, I mean, he's barely been able to play 10 minutes a game the past 2 games because of foul trouble. Is that staying in front of the ball, moving his feet, or something else?
Yes. The other night, I mean, I could have put him back in, but he was constantly out of position on the defensive end, where he's jumping around. He's got happy feet instead of having, you know, quick feet, or he's just jumping around, and every fake somebody gives him, he's jumping, leaving his feet, jumping sideways, and in the zone, you know, he's. Again, in the zone, we did not guard the ball at all. We act like we're just supposed to be there and with our hands out. And I don't. That's one reason I don't like zone defense. If guys don't stay aggressive on the ball, and we didn't do a good job at all with that Saturday.
If y'all have been able to, for the most part, y'all have been able to play your way out of foul trouble and been able to still win games. And do you think the guys understand how much of a problem it could be?
Well, there's no doubt. There's no doubt we have to work through it. But that's part of having a team. You know, we've won different games different ways this year, and we've played different styles that we've had to work through. And you know, it's a grind when you have to, you know, Jordan Bone picked up 2 fouls early, and you're already down a point guard, and you know, Jordan Bowden had to play more there probably than normal, but yeah, but that's what we have a team. And I go back to the all season, we try to mix different lineups, have guys do different things to get out of the box, and because you never know what's going to happen from day to day in practice, because we do practice hard. guys, you know, we're going to continue to do that. That's kind of what our DNA is, and we know that from now until the end of the year, we've got to continue to get our guys better in case, whether it's foul troubles, injuries, whatever it may be, we've got to figure out a way to work through it.
Coach, that really good practice you had when you came back from the Gonzaga game, were there any elements of that practice that you've tried to maybe duplicate, whether it's competitive session or anything like that?
Ever since we've been here, talking. That's what it's about, talking, getting everybody talking, and I think the mental side of it, you know, physically, you guys watch us practice, I think you know we go pretty hard there, but it's the mental side where guys will continue to talk, really understand what's going on both ends consistently and take care of the details. But that day in particular, it was a day where certainly we had 6, 7 guys out of a comfort zone talking the way that we need them to talk. But it's consistency and continuing to coach that up and hope that they understand. Again, it solves a lot of problems if they do that.
Devontae Turner, any update in that, Grant?
He's been practicing, and again, we're waiting on him to tell us when he thinks he's ready to play. Like I've told you guys for 2 weeks, the ball's in his court, and but he has been practicing with us.
Bowden, 4 games now off the bench. I mean, he looks like he's playing better. You think you made him mad, or do you think that suits him?
No, I don't know. Again, I think he knows, and I've said it to you guys for 4 years. We don't really care who starts. You know, we're going to keep searching around and finding out what maybe helps guys do this or do that, and. Maybe I should switch it back based on the way Yves Pons has played the last 2 games, because you know he hasn't been very effective, and he's made a couple shots, but he hasn't done what he needs to do on the defensive end. But I think you know Jordan has been around, he's played enough, and he's one of the most unselfish kids I've ever been around. I don't think it matters to him whether he starts or not.
What's the biggest difference you've seen in this team through 6 weeks compared to what you had last year?
Well, I think guys are better. I think you look, you know, we need Kyle Alexander to be better. We need John Fulkerson to get back to where we knew he can be, what he can do, and Derek Walker. And I think the biggest key is that. And I mean, obviously, I think Grant and Admiral, Jordan Bone, Jordan Bowden, I think they've all improved. I think our players have improved, and but we've got to continue to improve. This time of year is when you don't think, okay, this is as good as we're going to be. We've got to continue to improve as individuals, and that'll make us a better team.
What are the things that you're kind of nailing in on that you want those guys to improve in as you sort of get into
guard the ball? We got to guard the ball better. We got to do a better job with ball screen defense, but we've got to guard the ball. We can't continue to give up just straight line drives without stand between the ball and the basket.
How important are like these next 3 weeks with no students on campus, all about basketball? I mean, how much better can you get when is it kind of like boot camp?
Well, no, I think we're in a routine with what we do with practice, and I think right now, this year, you know, you want to get better, but you also want to get healthy. You know, you guys, there's not one guy on our team that's not banged up in some way, and I think that's probably true of everybody, you know, in the country, where little nicks here or there, and you'd like to see them, again, once we break after this week, you know, you got a couple days off, and then you come back and you're back at it again, but you just want, again, you don't want to wear guys down, because we still have a long way to go. You know, the tough part was I think we played 3 games in a week or in 2 weeks, something like that. That was a tough period where I felt like we got better in practice because we were doing some things there to try to help us get better. But we're going to continue to do what we do. We're going to practice hard, but we do need to get smarter in terms of how we approach the game, in terms of personnel, how we just understand. You want to get a team eventually because scouting becomes more and more important as the year goes on, because teams are going to settle into who they are, and you really do get a feel for how they want to play, and then can you really take the scouting report and figure out how to blow things up when you're out there playing the game, and that can't happen if you don't have communication.
This is kind of off the subject, but Avina Westbrook on the women's team, she scored 20-plus points in 3 straight games. She's talked about how you kind of worked with her on her shot during the off season. How did that come about, and what did you see that y'all kind of worked on?
Well, first, you know, I talked to Holly about it, and obviously Holly, you know, wants, like me, if I thought somebody could help one of our guys in any way, shape, or form, I'd want them to do that. But she at first, I think, talked to Riley Davis when Riley was here, because she knows how much Riley had broken down shots with guys and showed them this or that, and so when Riley had left, in the meantime, you know, she asked me if I would help her, and And I told her, only if you're willing to really work at it. Told her how hard it was to do, and I showed her one thing. I said, you're going to have to do this for 3 days, and showed me, I think I told her she had to make 300 shots. And I realized a day, and I realized that she really did want to do it, but she gets all the credit for it because she's the one. It wasn't anything drastic. It was just her knowing that she wanted to make some changes, and she did. And now their staff, I think, has done a great job making her get the reps up and continue, because she's going to have to continue to work at it. It's not going to happen overnight, and it hasn't happened overnight. But she still knows that she can get better doing what she's doing.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, guys.